You want me mad, kitten? Yeah, I mean, ideally, that's kind of the whole goal. Hello, and welcome to Chasing Control. This is a spicy Love and Deepspace dating sim featuring Sylus. In this, because of your poor performance, you have to take a remedial course, but you decide that it might be fun to take what you learn and use that to aggravate Sylus instead. Let's see what happens after you tease him for 5 days straight. Choose a skin color. This one. Heat coils in your coils in my what now? I feel like it's already sus as soon as we start. A phantom sensation that lingers even as you drift between sleep and wakefulness. Hands rake. Oh my god. Wow. The weight of what now? The weight of Sylus? The press of lips at your throat. The whispered hush of a name. Sylus. You wake with a sharp inhale. Your body taut with something that you can't name. I can name it. It starts with H and ends with Y. The air in your quarters is cool against your damp skin. A sharp contrast to the warmth that lingers in your bloodstream. You run a hand down your face. That dream again. Or no. That memory. It keeps looping in your head. Slipping between recollection and desire. As if your body refuses to forget. You exhale and force yourself up, swinging your legs over the side of the bed. The floor is cold beneath your bare feet, grounding you. Distraction. You need a distraction. You flick on the TV and move to the small kitchenette, letting the morning routine drag you back to reality. It's been hard focusing on work these days. You and Sylus are closer than ever now in every possible way. But it's strange, isn't it? To think about how things began. How you once looked at him with nothing but wariness and distaste. I don't think I personally ever looked at Sylus with distaste. But after everything you've been through together, you see him for what he really is. Beneath that intimidating aura, he's softer than what he wants the world to believe. And despite everything, he's never pushed you. Never held you in place. He's always left you space to walk away. But you never did. Somehow you keep coming back, drawn by something you can't quite name. And now you want more. You know he hasn't shown you everything. There are still parts of him hidden in the shadows. But he's become someone irreplaceable to you, bound to you by a connection you don't fully understand. The voice of the news anchor cuts through your thoughts, crisp and impersonal. And you're ready to uncover the rest. Illegal protocol smuggling is on the rise, with black market trading reaching unprecedented levels. Authorities are urging citizens to report any suspicious activity. Your gaze drifts to the hunter's watch. The digital interface glowing to life with a simple tap. The notification you've been avoiding lingers at the top of the feed. Commission update. Status in progress. Objective: infiltrate the target location and acquire intel. I wonder if the target location is Sylus, and by Sylus's target location, I mean his pants. A new note flickers at the bottom of the assignment. Attend mandatory classes before deployment. So when is Sylus going to deploy, his units? You draw titans. Right. The punishment. Because of one little incident during your last mission, they've assigned you to 5 days of social skills training before you're allowed back in the field. What? What'd I do? Apparently using force isn't always the best option. It's not? Whatever. You got results, didn't you? You exhale through your nose, trying not to let irritation sink its claws into you. It's fine, you're a hunter. You can do whatever they ask of you. A soft chime from your watch pulls your attention. A message. Sylus, dreamed you tackled me to the ground. Not sure if it was for a fight or something else. Something else? Both? Either way, I didn't mind. A breath of laughter escaped you before you can stop it. For a fleeting moment, you consider focusing only on him. You could call him and talk for a long time, hear his voice. Close your eyes and pretend just for a second that there's nothing between you but time and want. But duty pulls you back. There's a balance you have to maintain. You quickly send the reply. If I was in your dreams, I hope I stayed a little longer. Was that just a dream or a wish? Maybe both. But I don't need to dream if you come see me tonight. You shake your head, a small smile pulling at your lips. You need to focus or you'll be late for work. And the class. Alright, I only have a few minutes before work, what should I do? You glance around your apartment, weighing your options. Time's ticking. Let's see. Review class materials. We'll do that a bit later. Watch TV? Nah. Call Sylus. You hesitate for a second before pressing the call button. The line rings once and twice before a familiar voice answers. Good morning, kitten. He's so cute. You can't stop the small smile forming. I saw your message. So you dreamed about me, huh? A short pause, and in that dry, unreadable tone of his. Why are you acting like you didn't dream about me too? What? Your breath catches. What? Your eyes flick around the room, searching for any sign of Mephisto, his mechanical crow. Because if that little spy is perched somewhere in your apartment, you swear. But there's nothing. Just you. Relax. I didn't actually know if you dreamed about me. But now I do. Your stomach flips. Heat creeps up your neck. Damn him. You clear your throat, trying to sound unaffected. Are you free tonight? Why? I want to see you. There's a silence on the other end. Not hesitation, but something heavier, and then low and smooth. Let me check my schedule. Before you can reply, he adds, just kidding. I'm always free for you, kitten. Aww, He certainly has a way with words, doesn't he? I'll see you after work. The call disconnects, leaving you staring at your screen. You exhale slowly, pressing the phone to your forehead. Your nerves are already on fire. Alright, let's review class materials. I should check what I'll learn today. The instructor said there are different tactics that can be used. Which one should I revise? Button pushing for beginners. Your head hurts just looking at it. Enough for now. You attend the class. The day goes by fast, but nothing sticks. The instructor moves too quickly. The concepts are stiff and mechanical, nothing like real interactions. The techniques feel unnatural, like trying to speak in a language you don't understand. You leave class frustrated, uncertain if this training is even worth it. The fieldwork would have been easier. Instincts you can trust. This? Not so much. I should have just gone straight to the fieldwork. Yeah, you know what? I never was the best at studying either. You barely make it through the door before tossing your bag aside and dragging yourself to the couch. Exhaustion seeps into your bones, but your mind refuses to slow down. The second you sit down, your phone vibrates. I'm outside. You already knew he was coming, but when you unlock the door, you're still momentarily caught off guard. Oh, he's so tall. And big. Everywhere, really. Sylus walks inside with easy confidence, his presence immediately swallowing up the room, or swallow something else up if you know what I mean. His deep red eyes settle on you, carrying that usual intensity that makes your pulse stutter. You're tired, kitten. Long day. You nod, not trusting yourself to speak right away. Being around him in such an enclosed space alone, it still makes your stomach twist. He strides towards the couch, sitting at the other end, watching you carefully. His arm is draped casually along the backrest, legs crossed, his sharp gaze flicking to you as you walk in. Seems like you could use a distraction. You want to tell him he's a distraction, but he turns on the TV and looks at the spot on the sofa by his side. There's a new movie I think you'll like. You hesitate, but then, why not? So you sit next to him, leaving a careful distance. What? You can sit closer, but for some reason you don't. Maybe you're still feeling shy. The movie plays. Something low budget and full of over-dramatic action. You're too aware of Sylus beside you, the warmth of his presence, the way his fingers occasionally flex against his knee. Ooh. At some point he shifts, just enough for his thigh to graze yours. You pretend not to notice. His head tilts slightly, but he doesn't move away. You continue focusing on the movie, but then his hand moves. Not touching you, just resting close. He knows what he's doing. Your stomach clenches and your fingers twitch. You give in. You reach out, just barely brushing his sleeve, and the moment he starts to turn towards you, you pull away and stretch just as the movie ends. Ooh, is that what we're doing? Well, you're right. That was fun. Look at his face. He's like, what? Sylus is staring at you, an unreadable expression on his face. What? He shakes his head, a small smile on his lips. You have class tomorrow morning, right? Instead of teasing you further, he simply leans in, pressing a soft fleeting kiss to the top of your head. Get some rest. You need it. See you, sweetie. Aww, that was kinda cute. You walk him to the door, and then he's gone. You exhale, pressing your fingers to the spot where his lips had been. Your nerves are already on fire, but something small appears in your mind. His reaction today was interesting. Yes, let's get that reaction more. Another day, another decision. Not much time to waste. Call Sylus. You're about to call Sylus when your phone buzzes first. His name flashes across the screen. You smirk and answer. Before you can say anything, thinking about me already. You roll your eyes, even as warmth creeps into your chest. Are you free tonight? You tell me. He always does this. Flips things around, makes you say what you want outright. Come over. There's a brief silence, like he's weighing something, and then... I was going to anyway. You exhale, shaking your head. Of course he was. See you after work, kitten. The call disconnects before you can respond, leaving you staring at your screen. You don't know whether to be annoyed or amused, maybe both. Review class materials. Another morning, another round of reading. You tap through the interface, scanning today's options. Laugh, run, repeat. I want to do all the silly options. Who comes up with these article names? Anyway, that's enough for today. The instructor expects progress, but you're stuck. It still doesn't feel right. You force yourself through the exercises, mimicking what's written in the material, but it doesn't flow. Every move feels stiff, unnatural. The instructor corrects you constantly. You're either too forceful or not forceful enough. By the end of the day, you're mentally drained. But at least you're starting to see how it works. Maybe I just need time. You know Sylus is coming over. You invited him. So why does your stomach flip when the door slides open? He steps inside, calm as ever. His gaze sweeping over you with that quiet amusement that always makes you feel too warm. Also, by the way, does anyone know Sylus's exact height? I know he's the tallest out of all the love interests, right? Expecting me. You move towards him, quick and deliberate, closing the space between you before he can react. Then you tilt your head up and press a kiss to his cheek, dangerously close to his mouth. His breath catches. It's so subtle you almost don't notice. Almost. Well, I am playing with fire here. Welcome. The second he starts to reach for you, fingers twitching, arms beginning to lift. You slip away, walking further into the room. You don't turn your back on him completely, just enough. I am screwing with this man. I am messing with this man. I feel a little bad. You glance over your shoulder. Eyes alight with something playful and dangerous. Did you eat? Nobody's about to if you keep messing with him like that. He's still watching you. His brows drawn slightly, unreadable. No, not yet. He must be hungry then. Yeah, he is. Look at him. Not for food though. Oh, I'm starving. Yeah, see? His voice drops just a little lower, sending a shiver down your spine. Then let's fix that. A few minutes later, you're both standing in the kitchen, putting together a quick meal. That is not what he expected. He wanted something else. Or at least that's what it's supposed to be. You move past him, reaching for something on the counter, brushing a little too close, just enough for your arm to graze his. Wow, I have a death wish. And the first time he lets it slide. The second time he notices. The third time he moves too, just a fraction. Just enough to seal you'll stay close. You don't. You slip away, suddenly busy with something across the room. You can feel his patience thinning. The weight of his gaze follows you, measured, steady and waiting. And by the time you sit down to eat, his eyes are still on you. How's training going? The question sounds casual. Too casual. Are you learning new things? You hum, distracted by your food. Not really. I don't think it's my style. It makes a quiet sound. Not agreement, not disagreement. Why? He shrugs. His smirk just a little too carefully placed. Nothing. The answer lingers and you let it go for now. Eventually your body starts to settle into exhaustion. Warmth pooling in your limbs, making your eyelids heavy. Sylus stands, slipping his jacket over his shoulders, ready to leave. Wait, don't go. Sweetie, you're barely staying awake. Are you really gonna leave me like this? You tilt your head up at him, gaze soft, lips just slightly parted, and takes a single sharp inhale. His hands flexing slightly at his side. Then after a long sigh, he steps towards you again. And just as he does, you sit up, stretching. Actually, I changed my mind. I had to wake up early for training. This poor man, look at his face. I feel a little bad for him. He stills and blinks slowly, processing what just happened. Then he exhales sharply, shaking his head with a low amused sigh. Good night, kitten. You wave, still grinning as you watch him leave. Teasing him is much more fun than you imagine. You wonder what will happen if you keep doing it. Certain death. In a sexy way. A few minutes left before work. I could be responsible or not. Call Sylus again. We're just gonna call him every day. You hesitate, finger hovering over the call button. For a second, you consider not doing it, then you press it. Yes, kitten. His voice is smooth, teasing, too confident as always. Let's play together. It be the silence and the unmistakable smirk in his tone. Play. What kind of playing? Heat prickles at your skin, but you push past it, exhaling slowly. Come over after work. Another pause. The weight of anticipation stretching between you. Well, something else is gonna stretch between us later. And I guess I can make some time. I'll see you tonight, kitten. The call ends, but the tension lingers. A slow heat coils in your stomach. Review class materials. You take a moment to go over today's topics. Better to walk into class with something already in mind. Which one should I revise today? The agitation method. It'll be interesting to see how they apply this in class. You close the file, ready for the afternoon. Today is the first day it clicks. It's subtle. A shift in tone. A glance held a little longer than usual. A pause before responding, and suddenly people react differently. You say something and they hesitate. You realize it's not about the words, it's about the space between them. The instructor watches you more closely today, correcting you less. You leave class exhilarated, something humming under your skin. I think I'm getting better at it. You open the door. Sylus is already watching you, assessing, calculating. How did you get in? Through the window? His gaze drags over you, heat simmering beneath the surface, watching it, waiting to boil over. I bet we're gonna pull out a board game or a console, and then he is going to snap. So you wanted to play, kitten? Yeah, video games. You gonna play Monster Hunter? His fingers curl around your waist, pulling you against him slowly. His grip is firm, like he's already decided you won't be getting away this time. You let him have it. For a moment. Then just as he leans in, just as his breath goes against your skin, you slip away. The shift is instant. His grip turns to air, and a quiet exhale slips from him, something between amusement and warning. Uh-oh. You walk into the living room without looking back. You don't need to. You already know he'll follow. His footsteps are steady, measured behind you as you grab a box from the shelf and place it on the table. Kitty cards. I knew it! Sylus stops and stares at the box. What is this? I said I wanted to play. This is what I meant. You tilt your head, letting your voice drip with false innocence. Or were you expecting something else? The air shifts, thick with unspoken tension. His stare lingers. A beat passes and then another, before his lips curl into a slow, knowing smile. Fine, kitten. Let's play. And so you do, for a long time. You focus, determined to win. But Sylus is relentless. When you think you have the upper hand, when you're certain victory is yours, he turns the match around effortlessly. Again and again. You huff, pushing your chair back as you stand, frustration crackling through you. And that's not fair. Your chuckle is slow and dark, his gaze never leaving yours, soaking in your irritation. Maybe we should have played another type of game. Yeah, like what? Marvel Rivals? A shiver trails down your spine. His words are a warning, a promise. But you keep your expression neutral. Your posture lazy, unaffected. I guess? Suddenly he's closer, leaning in. Voice dipping into something low and smooth, edged with danger. You really want to test me, kitten? Yep. That's what I've been doing. Your breath catches. Because for a second, just a second, you think he might actually do something. You want him to, but you don't back down. You tilt your head, letting your lips curve just slightly. I don't know what you're talking about. I clearly just want to play a game. His eyes flash. Not with irritation, but something hungrier. He inhales slowly, about to speak, but then his phone buzzes. The moment shatters. He exhales sharply, running a hand through his hair. His frustration finally slipping through the cracks. Good night. And then he's gone in a flash of red light. The room feels too quiet without him. You exhale, pulse still uneven, the weight of the moment settling in. You just crossed the line, and you can't wait to do it again. Yeah, let's go, MC. Alright, and then we rinse and repeat. The line rings once before Sylus picks up. His voice is low and familiar. You're predictable. You huff. I could say the same about you. Maybe, but you're the one calling me first every time. You don't reply right away. Where's it this time? Can't concentrate? Or do you just miss me? Your fingers tighten around the device. Just come over tonight. Say please and I'll think about it. Your breath hitches. Your silence stretches a little too long. Finally, he lets out a low chuckle. Relax, kitten. I was gonna come anyway. Yeah, you absolutely were. Later, in more ways than one. The call ends. You exhale, pressing your palm against your warm face. Let's see. Review class materials. You pull up the next set of materials, scanning key points. You already know the basics, but the instructors will be watching for refinement. Which one should I revise today? Oops, did I make you mad? Let's do that one. This could either be insightful or completely frustrating. You'll find out soon enough. I feel like all these titles also reflect the encounters that you have with Sylus that night, so maybe tonight he'll get angry. I'm kind of excited to see. It feels effortless now. The way people adjust their posture when you step forward. The way their tone changes when you wait a second too long before answering. It's powerful. You push further, experimenting more. The instructor raises an eyebrow once, but they don't stop you. They see it too. You leave class satisfied, like you unlocked something you didn't know you had. And this is actually working. You arrive home to find Sylus and Mephisto already there. There's an energy in the air. Subtle but unmistakable. Sylus is restless. Yeah, I bet he is. Not in an obvious way. He's too controlled for that. But you catch it in the way his fingers tap idly against his knee. In the way his shoulders sit just a little too rigid. Like he's holding something back. You know he wants you to ask, but you hold it off, talking about random things. Mephisto watches you from the windowsill, head tilted as if already expecting the game that's about to begin. Until Sylus leans back against the couch, arms stretched lazily across the top. Too casual. Why are you so excited? You finally ask and his face brightens up for a second. Just came back from an auction. What'd you buy? He pulls a gun out, letting the metal gleam under the light, sleek and perfectly balanced. It's better than all the other ones in his collection. You glance at it and shrug. That's alright, but I think mine's better. The air shifts as the blatant lie fills the room. Sylus and Mephisto still. For the first time since he walked in, Sylus's expression flickers. Just for a second. Then he recovers, tilting his head, a smirk playing at the corner of his lips. If you say so, kitten. He's humoring you. Something in you wants to break that composure. But if you really look at it, mine is much better. Bigger, stronger, better precision, stronger bullets. His brow arches slightly, but you're not done sprouting nonsense. It's all about the reinforced trajectory chambering. The impact force is significantly stabilized at high velocity, which... He exhales through his nose, slow and long. What are you even talking about? You cross your arms, tilting your head just so. My god, it's obviously the superior one. His jaw tightens, just barely. His eye twitches. You smile and then you start laughing. What's wrong, Sylus? Are you mad? The tension shifts. The smirk remains, but it's sharper now. Hungrier. You want me mad, kitten? Yeah, I mean ideally that's kind of the whole goal. You don't back down. Maybe. What are you gonna do about it? The air between you thickens. The space is too charged, too heavy. Mephisto calls from the windowsill, breaking the silence. Sylus's jaw works for a moment, his fingers flexing once at his side before he inhales deeply, steadying himself. He takes one slow step forward, then stops. Next time, kitten. Good night. and then he's gone. You exhale, only now realizing how fast your pulse is beating. Your heart pounds so hard it hurts. You've never seen him this frustrated before, and you love it. Yes, I do. I love being irritating. Final day of class, might as well start it right by calling Sylus, right? You don't hesitate, you don't think, you just call. He answers on the first ring. Tell me. You know what he means. You know what he's asking. Come over after work. Say it like you mean it. Your pulse stutters. Sylus? Say it. Your breath catches. You should be annoyed, but instead your stomach tightens with something dangerously close to anticipation. You close your eyes, exhale slowly, and then... I want you to come over. The silence. Thick. Charged. Thick just like something else. And then his low voice reaches your ear. I'll be there. The line clicks off. You set the device down, staring at it for a moment. The tension has been building for days. Tonight, you have a feeling it will finally snap. Yeah, I'm Dunyan Rings tonight. No, I'm not living past tonight. He is going to destroy me. Review the last set of techniques and make sure you're ready. Tactical provocation. That should be enough. Time to put it to use in class. You don't have to think anymore, you just do it. The right pauses, the right silences, the right shift in body language, it's second nature now. The instructor barely interferes, they know you understand. And the best part, you don't just understand the techniques, you understand why they work. It feels like seeing through something, like knowing a secret nobody else does. You walk out of class with certainty. This is worth it. Well, here we go. You step into your apartment, kicking off your shoes with a sigh. The air inside feels charged, the kind of stillness that isn't empty. It prickles against your skin, warning you before you even turn the lights on. I'm so screwed. Your fingers drift instinctively to your gun. Sylus, your voice is steady, but the question lingers in the air. Then he steps forward from the shadows and your lips curve into a slow smile. You move towards him, anticipation humming beneath your skin, stopping just before your lips can brush his. His eyes dark and sharp with intent. He's had enough. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, he's been pretty patient for the last couple of days. You've been teasing me the past days, kitten. Far too much. You tilt your head. Faux innocence dripping from your voice. Oh, have I? He steps closer, unhurried, the tension coiling thick between you. You keep inviting me over, only to run away. Your back presses against the wall, caged by his presence. He hasn't touched you, not yet, but there's nowhere to escape. That training influenced you in an infuriating way. Are you actually mad now? You try to play coy, try to push the tension aside with a casual smile. I didn't know you were so easily affected. We can play kitty cards to relax. His hand presses against your abdomen, firm but slow, pinning you there. Why my abdomen? No, kitten. Not tonight. His smile is wicked, taunting. Your pulse hammers as he lifts you effortlessly. Then he kisses you. You taste like heat and hunger, his teeth nipping at your bottom lip before soothing the sting with another searing kiss. You try to reciprocate, and Bay seizes your wrists in one hand, keeping them above your head as you both situate on the couch. His breath is heavy and so is he, a solid weight that makes you feel small beneath him. You shiver. Are you sure you're mad? You're acting so soft. Heat floods through you as he drifts downwards. That is so loud. Oh my god. Wow. I can't stop staring. It's so rhythmic. It goes from like one angle to another to like another angle, and I'm like, this is some. This is what you wanted, kitten. To push me until I had no choice but to ruin you. Jesus, Sylus. Yes. Then I'll grant you your wish. My fairy godmother. He chuckles low in his throat. Still have energy to tease me, huh? Not for long. He pushes forward. This is so distracting. I'm just watching this. Come on, kitten. Wow! Oh my god! The command rips through you. Your peak crashes around you in waves. It looms over you. I think I should tease you more often. He chuckles, dark amusement curling at the edges of his lips. You have no sense of self-preservation, kitten. You're right, I don't. Not at all. You tilt your head, smiling. Not when it comes to you. His gaze dark with something possessive and something insatiable. You thank your supervisor in your mind for enrolling you into those classes. They didn't just make you sharper. They showed you this side of Sylus, this edge of him that you'd only glimpsed before. And now, you can't wait to unravel him further. Ending 2 out of 4. Woohoo! The end. Alright, we're gonna get the other endings, because you know we have to. We have to get the other endings. Alright, we are gonna try and get all the other endings, so this time, instead of picking the wrong answers for studying, we're gonna call Sylus every day and pick the serious ones. You hesitate for a second before pressing the call button. The line rings once and twice before a familiar voice answers. Good morning, kitten. You can't stop the small smile forming. I saw your message. So you dreamed about me, huh? A short pause and that dry, unreadable tone of his. Why are you acting like you didn't dream about me too? Your breath catches. What? Your eyes flick around the room, searching for any sign of Mephisto. His mechanical crow. Because if that little spy is perched somewhere in your apartment, you swear. But there's nothing, just you. I think the calls are the same, but the nighttime when he visits us are different. So I might skip the calls because we've already seen them. But I will show everything else. Review class materials. Alright, let's do command, presence, and obedience training. We'll pick all the top ones this time. Your head hurts just looking at it. Enough for now. You attend the classes. The day goes by fast, but nothing sticks. The instructor moves too quickly. The concepts are stiff and mechanical, nothing like real interactions. The techniques feel unnatural, like trying to speak in a language you don't understand. You leave class frustrated, uncertain if this training is even worth it. The fieldwork would have been easier. Instincts you can trust? This? Not so much. I should have just gone straight to the fieldwork. You're still sorting through the mess of files from classes. Too many reports, too many notes. Flicking through them on your tablet while juggling the lingering tasks from your work. Then the door opens. Sylus steps inside, his usual unhurried confidence in every movement. He glances at you at the scattered files that you're too busy to look up posture. Busy? I'm just finishing something up. Sit on the couch and wait. He blinks once and twice, like he's deciding whether or not to challenge that. But to your mild surprise, he does as you say. You finish up the last few taps on your screen, pushing the tablet aside with a sigh, then settle onto the couch beside him, a movie popping up on TV. We're watching this tonight, okay? Oh? And I don't get a say. Nope, his low chuckle vibrates through the quiet air, but he doesn't argue. You glance at him, considering, and then come closer. His red eyes meet yours, sharp and amused. Demanding today, aren't you? You don't answer, you just wait. Seems like in this route we're not really provoking him as much. He watches you for a moment longer, then shuffles closer. Close enough for you to tuck yourself into his side, your head resting against the warmth of his shoulder. Tension from the day seeps out of you, and before you even realize, sleep pulls you under. Somewhere in the haze he moves, and you stir, mumbling, half-conscious. Don't go. His hand drifts to your hair, fingers gentle and deliberate as he presses a kiss to the top of your head. Rest well, kitten. Then the warmth of him disappears and you drift back into sleep, the faintest echo of his presence still lingering. Another day, another decision. Alright, we'll call him again, but we'll skip the call this time, because we already read the call. And then we'll pick the top option for study. Behavioral control through strategic presence and vocal projection. The instructor expects progress, but you're stuck. It still doesn't feel right. You force yourself through the exercises, mimicking what's written in the material, but it doesn't flow. Every move feels stiff and unnatural. The instructor corrects you constantly. You're either too forceful or not forceful enough. By the end of the day, you're mentally drained, but at least you're starting to see how it works. Maybe I just need time. Sylus arrives just as you're kicking off your shoes, a parcel in one hand. His gaze already locked onto you, like he's got some kind of advantage you're not aware of yet. The doorman asked me to give you this. When you reach for it, he tilts it just out of reach, his lips curving in amusement. Hey, you can't do that, you're very tall and I'm very short. He stays exactly where he is, standing too tall, too smug, too damn entertained, watching you struggle to reach him. Your eyes narrow. He's enjoying this too much. His red eyes glint, tracking every movement, every flicker of impatience in your face. Sylus? He doesn't move. Fine. You step in, grab a fistful of his coat and yank him down until his face is inches from yours. Look at his face! He was not expecting that. A flicker of surprise vanishes almost instantly, replaced by something sharper, something intrigued. Yeah? He stumbles forward just enough that you feel the heat of him, tension coiling in the air between you. Something else is coiling between us at the moment. Give it to me. In what way? The parcel or his heavenly pillow? His breathing is steady, measured, but his gaze dips to your mouth. A hesitation so brief that you might have imagined it, and then you snatch the parcel from his grip and release him in the same breath. He exhales through his nose, something between a laugh and a warning, shaking his head as he straightens. Kitten. You flash him a slow, sweet smile, the kind that says you knew exactly what you were doing. I made dinner. Let's eat. You don't wait for a response, just turn and walk towards the kitchen, knowing he'll follow. Dinner, the game shifts. He's watching you again, like he always does, studying every move you make, waiting for his moment to strike. So you take yours first. You pick up a bite of food with your chopsticks and hold it out to him. Open. You don't waver, just keep your hands steady, keep watching him. A long pause and then finally he parts his lips. You slip the bite past them, watching as you take it without complaint. He takes what without complaint? Whoa. Good boy. The words are sweet and deliberate. A perfect mirror of how he usually speaks to you. His expression doesn't change, but you see it. The way his fingers flex slightly against the table. The way his breathing shifts just enough. You don't miss the way his jaw tightens slightly as he chews. Or the way he shifts in his seat, gaze locked onto yours, unreadable but heavy. Careful, kitten. You're playing with fire. And yet, as he watches you, the corner of his mouth lifts slightly, like he's wondering just how long you'll last. Alright. Proceeding onwards, let's call him again. And let's study the top option and head to work. Today's the first day it clicks. It's subtle, a shift in tone. A glance held a little longer than usual. A pause before responding, and suddenly people react differently. You say something and they hesitate. You realize it's not about the words, but the space between them. The instructor watches you more closely today, correcting you less. You leave class exhilarated, something humming under your skin. And I'm getting it. You and Sylus arrive at your place at the same time. The conversation light and effortless. Small talk about your day. The endless drills and training. The mind-numbing repetition. But the moment you step inside, the air shifts. Before you can react, you grab his jacket and push him against the wall. His back hits it with a quiet thud, his muscles tensing beneath your hands. A flicker of surprise and a flash of something else. Eager, are we? His voice is steady, but you catch his breathlessness beneath it. The slight hitch before he smooths it over. Your fingers trail up, slow and deliberate, running over his lips, and his breath stutters. Who's the eager one here? His red eyes darken, lips parting just slightly. He leans in, intent clear on every shift of his body, but you press a single finger against his lips, halting him. The tension tightens, curling around you both like a live wire. You don't get to kiss me until I say so. Something flickers in his gaze. Not irritation, not amusement, but something deeper. A pull against his nature, a test of patience, of restraint. His shoulders stiffen. Jaw flexing as he exhales through his nose. Steady but controlled. Too controlled. His fingers twitch, curling like he's resisting the urge to reach for you. You like this, don't you? Thinking you make me fall apart. The corner of your lips curves upwards, slowly. I don't think. I know. You pull back before he can respond. Walking further into the apartment like nothing had just happened. Like the moment between you didn't just thrum with something sharp. Something on the verge of snapping. I'm bored tonight. Grab a game and put it on the table. Let's play. His laughter follows. Shaky. Laced with something unsteady and something dangerous. Yes, kitten. You stop and tilt your head. Why didn't you call me something else tonight? Like, master? A single brow lifts. The smirk comes slow and indulgent. He's humoring you, but the pause before he speaks stretches a little too long, like he's weighing something. Yes, master. Wow, really? Compliant? Just like that? Satisfaction hums through you. But you get distracted, shifting your focus for just a second. Long enough for him to close the distance. You don't even notice until you feel him just behind you. Warmth at your back, breath ghosting at the shell of your ear. Let's see how long you can keep this up. The rest of the night is a game. Not just the one you set on the table, but the one you've been playing since you stepped through the door. Every glance, every challenge, every unspoken dare thickens the air between you. Blah. You feel exhilarated. I feel like we're not making him as agitated as the first one. Let's do this again. Review class materials, and we'll do the top one. It feels effortless now. The way people adjust their posture when you step forward. The way their tone changes when you wait a second too long before answering. It's powerful. You push further and experiment more. The instructor raises an eyebrow once, but they don't stop you, they see it too. You leave class satisfied, like you've unlocked something you didn't know you had. This is actually working. The doorbell rings. You see Sylus waiting on camera. Standing there, hands in his pockets, patient but not really. Okay, so in the other route where he's like super agitated, he actually just straight up arrives in your apartment. But at the moment, he doesn't really feel as much of a drive to. You let him wait. You put away your things first, adjust the cushions, fix a misplaced book on the table. You take your time because you can. When you finally open the door, he doesn't look irritated, he looks amused. Did you enjoy making me wait, kitten? You don't answer, and let your gaze drop to his shirt. A dark red stain near his ribs, small but noticeable. Did you get in a fight today? His eyes flick down, brows drawing together, his jaw tightening just slightly, annoyed that he let this slip past his own notice. Don't worry about it. You stare at his shirt, considering. Strip. The muscle in his jaw jumps, his breath pushing out, sharp and slow through his nose. Measured and controlled. You don't move, don't explain, don't rush him. You're pushing it, kitten. That's the point. A long-waited beat follows, and his fingers go to the buttons of his shirt. You don't let him get far. Slowly, his hands still. Not because you told him to, but because he's interested. And now he's testing you too, and that's fine. You hold his gaze, arms folded, your stance lazy, like none of this is affecting you. It's affecting me. Me, as in the player. I'm being affected. Like you aren't hyper-aware of the way his muscles shift beneath the fabric, the way his movements stay slow, deliberate, and purposeful. Whoa! Hang on a second. I was not expecting this. We didn't get this in the other route. The shirt drops into your waiting hand. Good job. You take it without another glance and walk off, heading straight for the washing machine. Behind you, you hear the quiet exhale of a chuckle, low and dark, almost amused. You move to the kitchen next. Step by slow step, letting the silence stretch between you. You open the fridge and pour yourself a glass of water and don't offer him one. Okay, well now I feel kinda mean. Instead, you take a long sip, watching him over the rim of your glass, letting the quiet weigh. I feel bad if I don't offer someone a drink when they come into my house. And now we wait. He steps closer. Close enough that the warmth of him brushes against you. Close enough that you hear the soft shift of his breathing. But you don't flinch. You just lift your chin slightly, meeting his gaze without wavering. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here, kitten? You reach out, fingers firm, as you tilt his chin, shifting his face side to side, inspecting for any injuries. What do you mean? His grip closes around your wrist, firm but not rough. Heat pulses where his fingers press against your skin. And for a second you think he might say something. He might push back. Then his phone buzzes. Once. Twice. Insistent. He exhales sharply, his patience shattering just slightly as he releases your wrists and steps back. You need to go? Yes. What about your shirt? His smirk is slow, edge of something knowing. Something unfinished. Keep it. And then in a flash of red light, he's gone. You stay there, pulse thrumming against your skin. The only sound left in the room is the quiet hum of the washing machine still running. And final day! I'm excited to see the ending for this one. Alright? And pick the top option again. You don't have to think anymore, you just do it. The right pauses, the right silences, the right shift in body language. It's second nature now. The instructor barely interferes. They know you understand. You don't just understand the techniques, you understand why they work. It feels like seeing through something. Like knowing a secret nobody else does. You walk out of class with certainty. This is worth it. The door slides shut behind you, and before you even set your things down, you feel it. That pull. The shift in the air. There was something unspoken and electric. Sylus is already here, waiting. He's lounging on the couch, one arm draped over the backrest, watching you with that slow, knowing smirk. The kind that makes your pulse skip and stumble. You exhale, rolling your shoulders. Welcome back, kitten. How was your day? Exhausting. My feet hurt. His gaze sweeps over you, lingering like he already knows exactly where this is going. Is that so? He rises smoothly, closing the distance with unhurried steps. His presence is all-consuming, and before he even touches you, your body reacts to him. You motion to your feet, a silent command. Wow, bossy, aren't we? And he just complies? He gives you a look, half amusement, half challenge, before falling to one knee and sliding your boots up with deliberate ease. Happy now? Your lips part, heat curling low in your stomach as you tilt your head, voice turning sweet and dripping with challenge. Not quite. What are you gonna do to make it better? His smirk curves a little sharper. What do you want me to do? Sit on the couch. He stares at you for a long moment, expression smug, unreadable, but you don't back down. You just keep looking at him. Slowly, he sits. You move forward, knees sinking into the couch as you lean over him. His legs move slightly, instinctive, and you box him in. Looks like someone's learned a few new tricks. He lets himself fall back with no resistance. His eyes darken, the predatory glint in his eyes never fading. You don't answer, just act. Your fingers slide into his hair, gripping firm as you tilt his head back, baring his throat. A sharp inhale leaves him, and then a low, wicked chuckle. Is this your attempt at taming me? Is it working? Smug. Always so smug. You lean in, closing the space in an instant. Your lips brushing against his skin before your teeth sink into the smooth curve of his neck. His back arches, breath escaping between his teeth in a hiss. For the first time tonight, his composure cracks. He reaches for you, fingertips skimming your waist, but before he can take control, you push his hands away. No touching. His eyes darken, a low sound rumbling in his throat, a warning. But he obeys. For now. You touch him just enough to make him react. You brush your lips over his jaw, dragging your nails down his chest, giving him just enough to make him chase. You can feel him relax, giving into your guidance. You hesitate for a brief moment, lost in the beauty of him, of his lush skin, labored breaths, his white hair sticking to his forehead. And then something flickers in his eyes. A hesitation and a moment of realization. His body tenses beneath you and his breath stills, like something deep inside him just snapped into focus. He moves. One moment, you had the advantage, and the next, you're turned. Your back pressed against the couch. His grip firm, his breathing heavier than before. For a second. Just a second, you swear you see it in his eyes, the restraint coming back. It's still not time. You're not strong enough. But then it's gone. I appreciate the effort, kitten. His voice is smooth again, composed. Back to what you know, but his grip on you is tighter now. But you still have much to learn before you can tame me. You exhale, meeting his gaze. You know what he means. You need to be stronger, but that won't stop you. I will do it. Something flickers behind his eyes again. But this time, it's something else. Something that looks a lot like anticipation. His smirk returns, slow and sharp. I look forward to it. And then he leans down and kisses you. A bruising, searing kiss like he's daring you to try again. Like he's daring you to win. I will win. I won in the other timeline. But you know, it's only a matter of time. Ending 1. Alright, so we got 2 more endings to get. Alright, so this is ending 3. It's the last day. You probably should be paying attention. You probably should be worried about how little you learned. Instead, you're counting the minutes until you can leave. The instructor gives a final exercise, something meant to test everything you learned this week. You barely try. You fumble through it. The instructor watches, and when you're done, they sigh. But you just shrug. You're not mad. You're not disappointed. It is what it is. You throw yourself into work, pushing everything else aside. Those silly classes are barely a thought. Your focus is unmatched, every task completed with efficiency that doesn't go unnoticed. Your supervisor watches, taking in the long hours, the unwavering commitment. Maybe they're impressed by your dedication. Or maybe they just see how stubborn you are and decide it's easier to let you do things your way. Either way, you win. No more wasted time, no forced lessons, you can keep doing what you do best. Still there's a nagging feeling. Something at the edge of your thoughts, a quiet weight, like you're forgetting something or someone. Sylus? How could I just forget Sylus? You shrug it off. Work comes first. That's so sad. Ending 3 out of 4. I didn't like that one. How could I just forget my whole last boyfriend in this timeline? I'm gonna try and get ending 4. Here we are. So for this one, I studied on some days, like 1 or 2 days, and the rest I just called Sylus and went straight to work and didn't study at all. The instructor gives a final exercise, something meant to test everything you learned this week. You barely try, you fumble through it. The instructor watches, and when you're done, they sigh. But you just shrug. You're not mad, you're not disappointed. It is what it is. The summons come as soon as training ends. Your supervisor waits in their office. And beside them stands your instructor, arms crossed, their disappointment palpable. They don't bother to soften their expression. Neither does your supervisor. Your performance in class has been unacceptable. It's not just a failure, it's a liability. They don't trust you to handle the commission. The verdict is final. You'll have to retake the course starting tonight. No! You sigh, the weight of it settling in. More time stuck in training, less time with Sylus. Frustration simmers under your skin, but there's nothing you can do. But now you're stuck. Ending 4 out of 4. We got them all. I mean, that's still better than the third one where you just work so much you just forget about Sylus. But those are all the endings for Chasing Control, the Sylus dating sim. I hope you guys like this as much as I did. I love Kaiwei's work so much. I feel like she's just so incredible. She does this all by herself. It is actually insane. She is so incredibly talented. Her art style is gorgeous. The way she writes is so good. She does really good angst as well, like with the Ghetto dating sim. If you guys haven't played that, I highly recommend checking that one out because that one is my absolute favorite. But I hope you guys liked this video as much as I did. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And let me know in the comments below which one of the Love and Deepspace boys is your favorite love interest. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming along with the adventure. And if you want access to my uncut scenes like the one in this Sylus dating sim, exclusive playthroughs, my spicy art, and previous games that I'm making, my link to my Patreon is in the description box below. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, take care.